Welcome to the world of programming in Scratch. This is part 3B. Chapter 3, Essential Outcomes. Students communicate, collaborate, create, and apply critical thinking skills through project-based learning by constructing, computing, and designing objects and Google Drawings for web pages, empowering and challenging each other to create unique designs, demonstrating knowledgeable game development using Scratch, being responsible web designers and digital citizens, sharing innovative designs via global networking, linking keywords to project application. Block structure programming. Scratch is a block structure program, which largely means you're using a language or a block language that will permit the creation of blocks, including nesting blocks within each block. You can group these blocks together. For example, if you look at the image to the right, you're going to see that you're using the forever block, and inside it are three different colored blocks, which means that largely these are grouped and they're also nested within another block. There are three categories that you can use in Scratch to work with your project. There's scripts. This is a collection or stacks of blocks that all interlock with one another and determine how sprites interact with each other and the backdrop. 2, costumes. This is a collection of different costumes or outfits that can be applied to the sprite character. And the third one is sounds. This is a collection of built-in sounds or sounds that may be uploaded and applied to your Scratch project. Our focus in this PowerPoint will be mostly on scripts. The first category that we're going to explore is the scripts category. There are 10 categories underneath the script. If you look at the image to the right, you're going to see the 10. What we're going to do in this PowerPoint is break down each of those tabs and demonstrate some specific actions that these blocks can accomplish. The events handler. This is probably one of the most commonly used ones. The events are color-coded brown. They're used to sense events that trigger scripts to run. When clicked is probably the most common one used to start. It usually starts the motion of a character or object, but you can also use any of the other ones that are listed to actually start motion of your character. The broadcast blocks, these are fundamental to creating games and animation where actions of one sprite triggers actions of another sprite. The control option. The control blocks are color-coded gold and are used to control the script. Loops. Loops are a sequence of instructions that are continually repeated until a certain condition is reached. Repeat and forever are good examples of looping. With the repeat and forever, you often use the wait block because this pauses action. You also have your if-then statements. You use these when you want a certain action to happen under a certain condition, and if that condition is not prevalent, then another action will be taken. Motion. Motion blocks are color-coded medium blue and are used to control a sprite's movement. They are only available for sprites. Use the move and the X and Y as well as the glide to help the sprite move around. You can also turn the sprite, point it in a certain direction, etc. The best way to learn how to use motion is just to use all of them to see what they do. The looks option. The looks option, the blocks are color-coded purple and are used to control a sprite's appearance. You can make the sprite talk and think, change its costumes, switch the backdrop, etc. You can hide and show an object. For example, you can have one sprite appear while another sprite disappears. Sound blocks. The sound block is color-coded magenta and adds sounds to an object or sprite. You can play sound with a sprite, change the tempo, add sound in the background, etc. Sensing blocks. The sensing blocks are color-coded light blue and are used to detect different factors of a project. Sensing is often used in gaming. For example, if a ball hits a certain color, you can have it change directions. Operators. Operators are color-coded light green and are used to script math equations and strings. You can add, subtract, divide, and multiply. You can pick random numbers, etc. You can also add text. Looking at the pen blocks. The pen blocks are color-coded dark green and you can draw shapes, plot colored pixels, and other things with using the pen. You can draw lines, dots, rectangles, and circles. These seem to be the easiest shapes to draw, but really when you're scripting, any shape can be drawn. More blocks. More blocks are color-coded dark purple and they hold custom procedures. Custom procedures are specific blocks you create for your selected sprite. The procedure can be useful whenever you are reusing a sequence of blocks in a different part of your coding without having to redo or duplicate the block for each usage. An example of a procedure is your jump block. You can make a sprite jump over objects and use the procedure or call on the procedure every time you need a sprite to jump rather than rewriting the code. Data blocks. There are two types of data blocks. A variable block, which are color-coded orange, and you can make a list block, which are color-coded dark red. So you can create variables or lists within your project. Now that we have finished the first category for scripts, we are now going to look at costume categories. Costumes allow you to add, or this category allows you to add different types of costumes. Using the broadcast option under the scripts tab, you can program the script to change costumes. I highly recommend that you explore the broadcasting options since you might want to use this as part of your gaming. The sounds category. The sounds category allows you to add sound or music to your project. You can use the sounds from the soundboard in the program, or you can upload your own music and use it in your project, or you can record your own sounds. Note, when you are adding your own music, make sure you use public domain, which means that they are free for your use. When you do a search in YouTube for music, make sure you type in public domain as part of your search. Chapter 3, Part 3B Quiz. Take time to review the keywords and the ideas given in this video. Once you have studied and reviewed, please go to Google Classroom and take the Chapter 3, Part 3B quiz. Then head back to the class website because you are done here now. Good luck coding.